fight for Ukraine, new world order.
We are unstoppable. Another world is possible. We are unstoppable.
A new world order
is possible. When do we want it?
I'm so glad we got to bring that jingle back. This is coming from TheGuardian.com. The headline, How Ukraine Has Become the Crucible of the New World Order. Yay! Why do we even exist anymore, Gonz? What is the point of us even? I guess this is when we call it, when The Guardian starts talking about the New World Order. There's no use for us.
So read the first 3 paragraphs there, and then I have some of the main things highlighted because it goes through the letters. This is the letter thing, yeah.
Totally. I was gonna do that exact thing. Here we go. Russia's invasion of Ukraine has been described by politicians and commentators as a watershed moment in modern history, a turning point comparable in importance to the 9/11 attacks in the U.S. in 2001, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, and even the assassination of John F. Kennedy in 1963.
At what point are they going to lose equity with like the 9/11?
Never. No. It is such powerful mind control triggering trauma response that they can just literally drop. Anybody can drop it whenever they want. And, you think of millennials in our lifetimes, Gonz. We have lived through the fall of the Berlin Wall, the 9/11 attacks, of course, the 2008 recessions, the COVID-19 pandemic, now this. I mean, our entire lives have had some sort of world-shattering disaster like every 4 years.
Yeah, that's true.
Whether this portentous view of the war turns out to be justified, only time and future historians will tell. But there's no doubt that in the violent, tumultuous days after 24th of February, the established international order has been shaken and, in some respects, upended in extraordinary, unexpected, and often unwelcome ways. Whew. Ukraine, a country at the crossroads of Europe and Asia that is little known and often ignored, has become overnight the crucible of a new world order, a catalyst and trigger for radical upheaval, perhaps a great reset. It has produced a new geopolitical alphabet, spelling out a much altered future.
Come on. This reads like a fringe blogger.
Oh, this is the fun part about The Guardian, and I'm very happy they did this and very proud of them for being so creative. Instead of doing like a numbered list, like 33 reasons why the Ukraine is because of the New World Order, or will bring on the New World Order, they just went through the alphabet like a children's book.
Yeah.
We could get a Canary Cry artist, or many of them, to illustrate cute little children's pictures about each one. Like hey kids, A is for atomic weapons. Vladimir Putin's ill-disguised threat to go nuclear, should the West intervene to halt the invasion, has come scarily close to breaking a post-1945 taboo. It has undoubtedly inhibited the U.S. and British response, with fears expressed about a Third World War. A dangerous precedent has been set. It needs to rhyme is the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah, it didn't. So you have someone's. I don't think we should read every.
No. I have stuff highlighted.
But I like going through the alphabet.
No, let's do it.
I'll go through and you stop me when you get one you want to go into.
Okay.
So A was for atomic weapons. B is for Joe Biden's tenure. C is for China standing to be the big strategic winner. D is for disinformation. E is for Recep Tayyip Erdogan. That's the Turkey guy. F is for France's Emmanuel Macron. G is for Germany's Chancellor Olaf Scholz. And H, hunger and consequent political unrest affecting poorer countries in the Middle East, Africa, and Asia. I is for Israel, and J is for Boris Johnson. Oh, you got one. Okay.
I want to. focus in on Israel here. Israel has disappointed its friends with its invasion fence sitting.
Ah, yes.
Ostensibly justified by a need to keep on terms with Russia and Syria. But its right-wing government will be happy if the war scuppers and West's proposed revived nuclear deal with Iran, to which the ever-devious Putin has suddenly raised fresh objections.
Ever devious.
Ever devious. Yeah, Israel has been playing on the fence, allowing Russian oligarchs to land their planes in Israel, but also, kind of helping Ukraine too. So,
we got to do one of these alpha. Okay, this is it. I'm making a commitment. We're doing a Canary Cry children's book this year, and it's gonna go into the supply drop.
All right, sounds good. Yeah,
because we could easily do this. I mean, F is for Flippy. Come on.
Sure.
For Nephilim. Moving on. J is for Boris Johnson, Britain's prime minister. K is for Kaliningrad, Russian enclave squeezed between Poland and Lithuania. That was that little weird Russian zone that I talked about the other day. Yeah, that's Kaliningrad. And
Kaliningrad.
Kaliningrad, right. And they are afraid that might be another place where a little war might break out. L is for international law.
Stop. That's what I wanted to read. International law has taken a battering from which it may not recover. By its actions, Russia has torn up the UN Charter. Yet, the UN Secretary Council is powerless to act in the face of Moscow's permanent veto power, which it used to block a resolution condemning the invasion. Russia also boycotted a hearing on Ukraine at the UN's highest court, the International Court of Justice in The Hague. UN reform
The Hague.
The Hague. UN reform must come soon. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. Well, when you talk about globalization, there's been it was in this weird moment in the globalization that was really hit its phase, its real, not necessarily its peak, but was really
they
initiated by Bill Clinton. I mean, the globalization machine has been built, but really took off with Clinton.
Yeah.
And has only really existed for about 22 years now. But it's not good enough. We need a new version. The globalization, the UN, the United Nations is not enough. We need UN 2.0 or have it sort of evolve into its more powerful form. Shall I continue?
Yeah, go ahead.
M is for Emmanuel Macron's off-mocked vision of a sovereign Europe. Macron gets two of them.
Yeah, I was going to say they cheated a little bit here with the Macron thing, but go ahead.
N is for NATO, and O is for oil.
I was going to mention NATO. NATO has emerged united and stronger so far.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Keep going.
O is for oil, obviously. P is for playing and watching international sport has got a lot harder if you're Russian.
Sports ball. They were really stretching by the end of this.
I know. Russians can't watch sports or play sports, apparently.
This next one is good. We have to read this next one.
Q is for the quest for truth. The fundamental purpose of free, independent media. They're talking about us, Gonz.
I know.
We made it onto the list.
Under Q.
Under Q. Oh, my gosh. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Wow. I wonder if they knew they were doing that.
They knew for sure they were doing it. Yes, of course they did.
Wow, that is really funny. The Q is for the quest for truth, the fundamental purpose of free, independent media like Canary Cry NewsTalk has been further set back by the war. Russia has long persecuted Western correspondents, etc., etc. R is for record refugee outflows. I think we're up to over 3 million now. S is for sanctions. I love that. S is for sanctions, and T is for Taiwan. U is the United Arab Emirates. V is for Venezuela's hard left government. W is for war crimes. X is for Xinjiang, home to China's persecuted Uyghur Muslim minority, is one of the many global trouble spots whose urgent problems have been eclipsed by Ukraine. Millions of
That's what happened.
Because they were getting so much attention in the mainstream media.
3 or 4 years that people have been talking about the Uyghurs. The
Uyghurs have been ignored forever.
It was Ukraine that outshined the Uyghur conversation.
Yeah,
they both start with U. How are we to know?
Y is for younger generations in the world. Z hold on. Okay.
To your point about why, okay?
Yeah.
Younger generation the world over have reason to wonder what's going on. First, they inherited the climate crisis. Then came the pandemic. And then the resultant bans on study and travel. Now they face something older generations said would never happen again. A full-scale war in Europe.
Yeah.
They're scared.
Dude, we're not even like scared anymore.
No.
I mean, millennials are one thing, but
we're jaded old people now.
Yeah, Generation Z didn't really live. They didn't know about much of Generation Z was not even alive for 9/11. So I think millennials still have it locked down for most traumatized generation. And Z, this is great. So
this is part of the title of the episode.
Y is for younger generations in the world. Z is a fascist-style pro-war motif displayed by Russian invasion forces and right-wing Putin supporters. But the Z that will be remembered with admiration around the world belongs to the name of Vladimir Zelensky, Ukraine's comedian president turned inspirational war leader who embodies the fight for freedom. Wow.
Oh my
they really had
gosh.
to stuff a lot into the Z one there. Huh?
I think they started with Z. I think the Z was the first one. They're like, we should do the alphabet. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a reason to point out this. I could see how somebody over there at The Guardian is like, whoa, dude, Z is like Zelensky, but also the Russians are using it as a fascist style pro-war motif. What is a fascist style
just
pro-war?
The look.
Yeah, there's what exactly.
Not really a thing.
There's angles. The fascist style pro-war motif. What they're saying is, it kind of looks like a swastika a little bit. Like if you put 2 Z's, then it's a swastika. But if you just have 1 Z, you're like clever and hiding a swastika. Cool, The Guardian.
America's got Q, Russia has Z,
That's
Everybody
true.
just gets assigned a letter as their far right wing conspiracy thing. So there you go. That was a fun little article.
There you go, kids. That is the alphabets of how Ukraine has become the crucible of the New World Order.
A new world order. A new world order.
RollingStone.com, and I'll be brief with this one. Headline, Michael Flynn says Putin's Ukraine invasion is disrupting Bill Gates' New World Order. Like,
of course,
whoa, bro,
Flynn
says that. This is getting all twisty-turvy.
That's funny. This is in Rolling Stone?
Rolling Stone, yeah. So let me just read a couple sentences. Michael Flynn, Donald Trump's disgraced former national security advisor, wants you to know he's the last guy who would be an apologist for Vladimir Putin, the Russian leader currently conducting a murderous attack on Ukraine. Flynn would also like you to know, however, that Putin's invasion has now upset plans for a new world order organized by people like billionaire Bill Gates, who are somehow pushing to eliminate, quote, God and soul.
Ooh.
That is a conspiracy theory word salad from Flynn, but it goes toward a dangerous end. Setting up Putin as a hero to a host of conspiracy theorists and covering for an invasion that has caused mass death and suffering in Ukraine. And the quote here, someone like Vladimir Putin has upset this balance of the New World Order they were trying to achieve by going into Ukraine, and yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, Flynn kind of playing I'm not for Putin, but, hey, they're taking down the system, man. They're pushing back on the system that's so oppressive, man.
Burn it down.
Burn it down.
Yeah,
so,
he's an accelerationist.
It's just funny how the phrase New World Order is just so flippantly used now by a bunch of political leaders and newspapers. And
I know.
I mean, they kind of were before, but now it's just like,
well, it
whoa.
used to be a thing where, like, if we heard a politician or a news outlet use the phrase New World Order, you'd make a YouTube video about it, and it was a thing to make note of. And now they're using it so often that you can't even keep up with it.
Yeah.
And it's a very useful propaganda tool, normalizing the phrase, making the phrase sound like a good thing. And here's what it is. When it comes to crafting the feeling, how, I say it all the time, humans, for the most part, will feel about something how they are told to feel about something. Now, you've got Russia invading Ukraine. That's bad, okay? Everybody knows Russia invading Ukraine is bad. And what is he doing in Ukraine? He's ruining the New World Order. So that must mean that the New World Order is good. Okay. And they just say that over and over and over and over again. And I think that there's going to be sort of a population-wide, it may not be explicit. They may not even know it if you ask a normie. They may not even realize that it's happening. But what it's doing is it's molding the phrase New World Order into, something that's good, that needs to be protected.
Well,
yeah. Well, and one last thing, they're not even using the words New World Order as a descriptor or as a collection of 3 words. They are capitalizing New World Order as if it is a noun. It's an established noun,
right?
Which is another very powerful sort of passive propaganda. It's a sort of brainwashing technique.
Yeah. Sorry, I got a little distracted, but yeah, I think we're
by my
covered.
brilliance.
Your brilliance really distracted me. I think we get the point there with the flipperoo. But I've known people who have been all about the New World Order without really even knowing what it is for a while. I remember having conversations with people 10 years ago, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to be part of the New World Order," and I was like, "I don't know if it's a good thing." He's like, "Oh, I just want to be part of the new thing." I was like, okay, all right. Like, they don't really think it through,
And that really is sort of the word progressivism or the word, those things. Those are considered in general parlance in the sort of secular mass, political landscape. Progression, progress is good. If you are progressive, it means you want to move forward and make things better. And New World Order is along those lines. It's new. It's new. It's progress. It's new. And if we're told that we're supposed to like it, then we do, because I watch the news. Well,
Rolling Stone trending: Laura Logan, Zelensky wore leather pants, so maybe the Russian invasion isn't so bad.
What?
What are we in the metaverse?
Welcome to the metaverse.
Just real quick here, because we're behind on time. CNBC.com, ex-Disney CEO Bob Iger's next step, investing in a metaverse startup run by a 29-year-old. Kind of weird. Why 29? So he can harvest when they turn 33. Former Disney chairman and CEO Bob Iger is putting his name and money behind a new company that's aiming to dominate the future of the internet and the metaverse. On Monday, 3D avatar startup Genies announced that Iger is joining its board of directors and investing an undisclosed sum in the Los Angeles-based company. Founded in 2017, Genies' mobile app allows users to create their own custom digital avatars, 3-dimensional cartoon versions of themselves for their social media profiles, and eventually to travel the metaverse. In a press release, the 5-year-old startup says it will count on Iger's help to grow the company as it looks to build, quote, avatar ecosystems, where users create everything from digital fashion lines, Beast Fashion, for avatars to the online worlds in which those avatars can interact. Genie's co-founder and CEO Akash Nigam, 29, touted Iger's involvement in a statement, saying he, quote, can't think of a better creative and product thinker than Bob to collaborate with. And it goes through a little bit of history of Iger. I think we kind of know some of his stuff with Disney and all that kind of stuff. Let's see, there's this part at the end here I want to get to. Genies has raised a total of $100 million in funding from venture capital backers like Bond and Breyer Capital, according to Reuters. The company has also partnered with a long list of celebrities creating online avatars for the likes of musicians Justin Bieber, Cardi B, and Shawn Mendes. Genies has also teamed up with brands like Gucci on branded digital items and has launched a marketplace for digital accessory NFTs. Think clothing, shoes, and backpacks for those avatars. Yeah. So talk about beast fashion. It looks like a big part of it. And Bob Iger pouring in an undisclosed amount to support this little company,
what
this little startup.
Score this startup got. My gosh, that is a score. They are so set. Wow.
On that note, maybe we should appeal to Bob Iger about the Canary Cry NFT.
Yeah, well, I was going to say he's are you going to talk about that today?
That was planned.
Okay. You want to do it during the break?
Well, yeah, we can kind of lead it into the break.
Well, there you go. Speaking of score, I think we're the real score, Gonz, because, he might have Robert Iger's money and $100 million to participate as some sort of technocrat overlord who's going to participate in sucking the souls out of our children and our children's children. But we're free.